Okay, this is why I did not goop up the cases, because that had to come back out. Take this all apart, so I got access to work on this, and I can hone it, get it nice and greasy, dirty, filthy, and then clean it all again. It's hard to do that when you goop everything all up and it's done. So that is why I never did that in the first place. I figured there might be some issues with this thing, because everything else has been fighting me. So it did. Okay, so we got everything all taken apart. Got the gear pushed out of there. Got the other bearing out there. We got everything out on this side. So we got a raw case on this side, and this is raw except for one bearing we left in. So these are my alignment pins. So this one here goes in the case there, and fits in the bearing on this side. And these are a fairly tight fit. There you go. So you only got that much misalignment potential, not much. Okay, I've got the small one, the big one. Big one goes in the door, small one goes in the case. So you have the same problem on the, putting this in there. Nice snug fit. Get a little bit of clearance this way. There you go, a bit better fit now. There you go. So now these are in there. These are going to line up your main shafts. These two dowels line up the trap door. These four things have to match up for this all to go together. If it doesn't match up, then we're having a problem. So we take this and roll it around on its side to get better access to the door. Okay, so now we take this door and we do the same thing. Except on this one, we got 4 different things happening at once. So we have 2 shafts, 2 dowels, and 4 bolts. The bolts don't matter at all. The other 4 things do matter. So I have to get these to kind of line up and go together. There it goes. Okay, these 2 lined up. Now if the dowel pins line up pretty closely, we are doing good. And see how they look like they line up pretty closely? You have a little bit of clearance there, a little bit of clearance there. So it's actually pretty damn nice. And see, I wiggle it and it fell down some more. So this door actually fits this case pretty damn nice. Wiggle, wiggle, and she dropped down. I didn't have to beat on it all. That's good. We're back. Okay, we're back again. Okay. Okay, everything slipped down nice and even, pretty well all the way down the gasket surface, so everything lines up. That's a really good sign. I'm going to check the bolts and make sure they go in there halfway decently. This hole has been crunched by the bolt head, so it needs to be reamed out so the bolt will fit in easier. But it looks like the location is probably fine. So all of this looks like it's working pretty good. So every now and then when you swap out these doors, they actually line up. So this one's looking pretty good. The bolt's a little tight, but it did go in. It's too close and banging my arm in here. The bolts are definitely not real happy about going in. This one does. Okay. Now you want to hit the trap door right on the 2 dowel pins. So that's one there, one there. Make sure it's all the way down. You don't want to pull it down with the bolts, you can break the door. This hole's fighting us a little bit, so we'll probably have to open it up just a little bit. There, it just went in. And this one's the only one that's real loose, is this one. Until we get further down, it gets tight in the threads. Okay, everything's in now. Now if everything was perfect, you should be able to slide the shafts back and forth, but that's rarely happens. But I'm not expecting that to be that good, but I should be able to move them though just by lightly tapping on them. So you can see it move just a little bit. That's good. Bar right here. I can't tell if that one's moving or not, but the fact that the door slipped on is plenty adequate for me. So usually what I do is I go through a big stack of trap doors and I keep laying them on there until I get something that's like that where it kind of goes together, and then I'm happy. Okay, now the last thing we gotta look at is clearance. So sometimes they rub right through here. This one is looking like it's okay. And then right down through here they get real tight. But it looks like this one's got clearance all the way around. So that's all we want to see. That way there's no binding. So that's what you want to see. Alright, so this door looks like it's going to work, which is going to be really nice. So customer will be happy about that. But I still got to do all the rehoning. I'm still going to have to cut the case bush for bearing clearance. I'm going to have to work on these bolt holes here just slightly by cleaning things up. So these bolts are going in tight. Now they're going to leave a mark on the trap door where they went in. You go in there with a rat tail file and you knock out the spot that you see where it's dragging. And that will let the bolts go in easier next time. Okay, that's all in there. Okay, now I gotta knock this door off. So I made this tool for beating the shaft out through the hole here. It's just a piece of nylon. This one's already coming out. So this door fit pretty good, so it comes off pretty easy. Just already slid out a little bit. There we go, slides off pretty nicely. And everything's out. Okay, that's what you want to see, a nice, easy removal like that. Okay, so now I got to go ahead and put all the bearings and stuff back into here and get this thing all ready to go back together on that part. The first thing I do is check get the main shaft to fit, which is going to be a little bit more work than that. So I'm going to have to hone out that bearing right there. So I have a line hone setup I made up that comes off this bearing here. So I use this bearing here. So this is glued in here so it doesn't just fall out. So what I do is I take out this bearing, I put this bearing into there, and then I can line hone the bearing race over there and make it fit. Okay, I'll go ahead and get all the stuff cleaned up, swap out some bearings, we'll be back. Okay, we're going to knock the race back in here. So we got to get our mark straight up and down, which was where the snap ring was straight up and down, was where the mark is. So you got to get on straight. Make sure it sits on your table flat so you don't do any damage to the case. And I'm just going to take this and knock it in. You don't have to have a fancy press, just knock it in. Just make sure you go straight, that's all. Oh, camera's not in all the way. Ah, good angle here. Ah. There we go. I'm leaning over too far, trying to hold the case up. Alright. Give it a little wrap to get it started. Get going straight. We hit 9. There we go. It's not going in. Ah. Me or the Loctite? Probably a combination of both. Alright, so I'm going to take it off the stand so I can do it in the press. Trying to avoid doing work. Looks like it's cocking a little bit, is my problem. Be my guess. Let's see. If it's cocked, I should knock it off and be able to put it in. Correct tool. It's not quite the right one. Yeah, it's a little bit all cocked. Straight there. We'll try it again. That's why I like pressing stuff in, but if it doesn't want to go, don't keep forcing it, obviously. Now let's go in the other direction. Going hard. Yeah, it's fighting me. I'm going to use the press. This is becoming stupid. Okay, pull this off here. Normally when I beat on, they go in pretty quick and easy. This one doesn't want to. So instead of doing a bunch of damage, just stop, redo it. Let's see, knock it back out. Spread out. Put some fresh Loctite on it so it'll be fresh. Same on the race. Thing doesn't have much of a chamfer, it's a pretty sharp edge. That's why it wants to cock instead of going in straight. Could just regrind and put a bigger chamfer on it, would probably help a lot. When you're doing the press, it goes in straight, not doing any of that stuff. Okay, so we're going to use this. We've got to get a bar on the back side. Something big to push against. That'll work. Alright, let's go over the press and do some pressing. It's always easier to use the correct tools instead of fighting everything. Alright, let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. That right there. There. Great video, can't see a damn thing. Yep, I can't show you a video what I'm doing because I'm using both my hands. You, clunk, got you. Slid over a little bit. Okay. Looks even. Well, it's going in hard. What is going on with this thing? Fight, fight, fight. Ah. Yeah, what a pain in the butt. Definitely being a pain. Still doesn't want to go straight even though you're using a press. Damn tools I keep putting away. That's the right size, that'll work. Okay. Pulling metal off I don't want to do. Flip it around, do it again. What a pain in the butt. I'm hitting on something flat or what? Something's not flat over here. Let's see. Ah, camera's in my way. Okay, what is the problem here? So, something's keeping this thing from being flat. See how it's not flat? This is flat. The case isn't flat. It's supposed to be flat, but no, it's definitely not flat. Here's the high spot. It doesn't wobble no more. Wonderful. Now we'll put the camera over on this side. You can see better over here. I don't know. We'll see. One more time. There's always something giving me a pain in the butt. Yeah. Feels much better now. See if it'll press in like it's supposed to this time. Yeah, went right in that time. Imagine that. Get something flat and square, it goes right in. All right, we're back.